Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, July 3, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a time for change call this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. This universe we live in is more intelligent than the mind could ever comprehend. There are many hidden dimensions in everything and everyone within it. There's dimensions that you are living several different lives in different parallel dimensions. Yes, a little tiny bit different. We all truly exist in the most fascinating, multi-dimensional, and infinitely mysterious field of conscious, intelligent energy. This divine harmonic matrix is vibrating with life all around us. It is inside us and is constantly connecting with our every breath, thought, emotion, and heartbeat. If you were to just look all around you, everything is constantly exploding in an orgasm of wild, unabandoned creativity right in this very moment on this planet. Millions of flowers are blossoming, giving birth to the most amazing sights and scents. Amazing sacred geometric crystals are forming perfect patterns beneath the Earth's crust, while millions of animals, birds, insects, and humans are having intercourse. In the most interesting positions. This is just a tiny tip of the iceberg as to all the wild, mysterious, and beautiful things happening on this planet right now. Now, if you were to observe nature long enough, you'll see everything is always changing, including you. It is said that we cannot step into the same river twice. We can't even step in the same river once. Everything, including ourselves, these bodies, is already completely different. This means you cannot have the exact same sequence of thought patterns and feelings that you had last month or last year or yesterday. Our mind and emotional intelligence is continuously growing, evolving, and changing. These bodies were born highly intelligent beings who were meant to outgrow the small trousers we once wore in the second grade. And we wouldn't want to really try putting them on again. If you take a microscope and you look into the DNA inside every cell in your body, you'll see that they all contain a sacred imprint that is unique to you. And each quantum particle of your DNA is this wild and uncharted, magnificent, intelligent mystery within it. This mysterious intelligence is embedded within the foundation of your blood, bones, and brain. You cannot escape from it, no matter how hard you try. What's interesting is that the mind tends to take for granted this sacred mystery every day. The mind has this tendency to create habits, fall into these little comfort zones and zones of thought, safe emotional thought patterns. It finds ideas which label life, placing ourselves and others into tiny, compartmentalized little thought boxes so we can feel more secure, self-assured, somewhat organized, standing in the face of this wild, uncharted, infinite mystery that's surrounding us in all directions. The moment we put anything in this divine existence into a thought box, we forget all about enjoying a state of devotion and worship to the divine mystery. The instant we forget about the great mystery of this life, we initiate the suffering process. Every experience of life thereafter becomes a challenge. And as we live from the head and not from the heart, the mind is a master at continuously getting lost, believing all its inner thought structures are real, when they're not. They're all illusions. When our intellect holds tight onto fixed beliefs, it thinks life will feel more manageable, giving the illusion of control and the sensation that we are becoming wiser. Yet this hard-cooked, know-it-all mindset demolishes our childlike curiosity and abolishes any form of reverence for this deeply sacred divine mystery. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. One cannot help but be in awe when he contemplates the mysteries of eternity, of life, of the marvelous structure of reality. It is enough if one tries merely to comprehend a little of this mystery every day. Never lose a holy curiosity, Albert Einstein. Now, one of the greatest mysteries that have been ever discovered in this life is the human psyche. The human psyche is the accumulation of other people's thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions that we've adopted and inherited as our own. All these beliefs from the entire experience of ourselves, other people, this world, and our entire reality, the way we think, how we think, why we think this way and not that way, is the core network of our psyche and makes us behave more like predictable machines than a live cosmic organism or organisms. The human psyche, however, has a magical side to it, and that whatever we accept as the truth becomes what we actually manifest physically into our lives. This may be one of the most awesome mysteries mankind has to explore. Our foundational belief structure is so powerful, pervasive, and penetrating that it always manifests itself in every single possible outcome and experience we have. This universe always supports whatever you believe. If deep down you believe you are not a lovable person, the universe will constantly manifest for you the most challenging people, negative situations, and experiences that support this belief inside. If you truly believe you are lovable, the universe will slather your life with sweet, loving beings devoted to caring about you, honoring you, and caring for your needs in the most intimate, vulnerable ways. The intelligent universe, universal energy, simply follows thought. Whatever you believe about you is where the energy flows and manifests into the entire show all around you. It is in this highly technological age, people now tend to believe science easier than religion. If you can prove God is real in a lab, then it must be true. What's fascinating about this time frame in our lives is that the quantum physicists of this world have ventured so deep into particles that they have had to merge their scientific understanding within a spiritual context. Their practical Newtonian vocabulary doesn't have the words to explain the outrageous results they are finding. They are having to use more spiritual words and concepts to bridge the understanding of these hard-coded scientific results. For example, just like us, okay, you kind of picture this as a presentation of us, the gods that we are. You take two quantum particles that were spinning around, which I've discussed this before, spinning around each other and found a way to separate them by a few kilometers in distance. Later, they spun one of the particles counterclockwise and noticed that instantly the other particle that was kilometers away would also change spinning in this new direction. Study shows has been done many times with the same results. So they've concluded there exists some form of spiritual intelligence that is communicating between all quantum particles in this universe, no matter what physical distance is between them. Years ago, quantum physicists also proved in their labs that thoughts are actual physical measurable things. Scientists would observe a vacuum of space which had no particles in it, and they found that wherever the observers would place their attention, that was the place the particles would show up. They concluded through other more advanced studies that when the mind cultivates the ability to direct thought in one specific direction for an extended period of time, the person can physically attract, magnetize, and soon manifest an actual physical thing into their field of existence. That when the mind cultivates the ability to direct thought in one specific direction for an extended period of time, the person can physically attract, magnetize, and soon manifest an actual physical thing into their field of existence. It has been the 21st century for a while now. And the understanding that we are the manifesting magicians of the quantum soup of highly intelligent energy all around us has become an actual science in the quantum physics and the spiritually enlightened communities. Relationship between the mystic and the scientist were separated 500 years ago or more, and now the pendulum is swinging back towards their reunification again. It is our inherent curious nature to want to put labels on things, people, ourselves, and create a universal law of attraction that will solve this great manifesting mystery of life. We think that if we have a more concrete global understanding of this life, then we can relax and rest even deeper into our spiritual nature. Perhaps only a foot or fool would believe that we need something external to let go and relax internally. Why would we need to feel inferior to being one with Mother Nature just so as to push away our insecurity and strive towards a need to feel superior? This human psyche, as I've mentioned, is the greatest mystery of them all. All we have to do is to give up identifying with the body, with forms and limits, and then we shall know ourselves as the infinite self that we always are. Ramana Maharishi. Maybe when science creates a machine to find the source of consciousness, then mankind will feel like a god. Yet, why take the long road? Why not just look inside your source of consciousness itself and discover real evidence of where consciousness comes from? Realize that consciousness is made of and why it exists, and relax into the greatest innermost mystery of them all. I have the feeling that in order for our world to solve these deep, outrageous questions in the future, quantum physicists must merge completely with the metaphysical mindset. And meta means beyond physical mindset. The God, the spirit, the soul. If modern science is to make any real progress, I'm guessing by now you're more interested in how your life can personally benefit from applying this kind of enlightening path of understanding the great mystery. You want to know how understanding the metaphysical manifesting mystery can make your life easier, more abundant, healthy, loving, happy, and financially free. In order for you to have access to manifesting anything and everything you desire in your life, you must choose to first start with believing in one basic foundational understanding. Whatever we continuously focus our attention on grows, multiplies, and manifests automatically in our lives with the help of this natural, powerful, magnetic, manifesting intelligence that's inside everything. With all this amazing manifesting power already inside us, it's quite ironic that more people are not accessing. Many of us are stuck in jobs we don't like, relationships we lose energy battling with every day, and we are either having some sort of food, drug, alcohol, or sex addiction that is taking priority over any real deep spiritual devotion and exploration. The basic reason for all human suffering here is simple. The mind keeps focusing on what we don't want and thus keeps manifesting more of the same. New thoughts rarely have space to form. And after 70 or 80 years, the human being has wasted all its precious energy on magnetizing on what it doesn't want and doesn't have. The only reason we are not always manifesting everything that we want is because we cannot keep our mind focused long enough on feeling that they are receiving the one thing they truly desire to have. It's that simple. Once we retrain the brain to stay focused fiercely, deeply, and resolutely focused, we will become the manifesting master of our world. When we practice meditation, we will one day attain mystery over our mind and actually reach a state of physical mastery over our physical world. When it comes down to life-mind mastery within the great mystery, it is all about discovering the source of pure awareness inside. This is that simple, obvious awareness that is always watching, listening, and experiencing everything in your life all the time. It is the light behind the movie screen of your mind, responsible for projecting the entire picture onto everything that you feel, sense, and see. It is responsible for shining the light on every single thought and feeling that you have about anything. It's always the source of what your experience is in every moment of your existence. We don't give awareness enough credit. We rarely recognize that it's there and hardly ever take the time to sit down with it and relax into the source of it. The reason we take awareness for granted is because it is ever present, always here now, just like the air you're breathing. Yet think about it. What if awareness wasn't present anymore? What would happen to your life? Who would you be without awareness? Who would exist if there were nobody to be aware of your existence anymore? Here, these are some deep thoughts to contemplate. Yet when we do take the time to explore them, something magical happens. We start becoming more in touch with this divine state of awareness. Whatever we focus on is what we experience more of, and eventually manifest into physical action and form. Whatever we meditate on results in who we are going to become tonight and tomorrow morning. As we become more aware of the infinite spiritual source of awareness inside, we become more connected with what's totally in charge of what we're magnetizing. We can see each thought fly by and see exactly how each one is attracting, creating, and designing how our entire lives unfold and manifest. It is only when we become conscious of this perfect divine play manifesting inside us and all around us that we stop fighting ourselves, each other, beating our heads against our inner emotional prison walls. When we stop pushing up against life and start appreciating that everything is an aspect of the great sacred mystery. We start resonating at a higher level of consciousness. We begin feeling more expansive when we wake up in the morning and greet the day with a childlike curiosity, creativity, and wonder. We do this because at the source of pure awareness, it's easy to realize there truly are no actual prisons in this infinite quantum field of intelligent energy. Prisons are only limiting aspects of our highly creative imagination. Can you imagine that on this planet today, that all of a sudden, all of us had no names? We had no names to identify us. All gone. None of us remembered our names across the board. How would that be? Now, on a karmic level, every person has a unique inner emotional prison, and this is part of their unique soul's destiny. Every human came here to release the lie their soul was fed. They came to re-experience the feelings of being confused, rejected, abandoned, halted, suppressed, depressed, and stuck in order to transcend them all. We needed to step harder on thorn hiding in our shoe in order to stop hiking up this great mountain and remove it with love. At some point every day, we each run into some feeling of being stuck, blocked, or challenged by something or someone. We feel limited, small, powerless, or suppressed from our full expression. Every human mind already has the program installed to throw itself into some emotional dumpster repeatedly. There are many little thorns hiding in our shoes that we are unaware of. Thus, something terrible happens in the outer world. We get dumped by a lover, or we end up trashing our self-esteem, our love for life, our feeling of being empowered, and falling into some treacherous feeling of being locked up in an emotional prison we cannot escape from. All this thorny karma we carry may sound terribly depressing, yet it's good to remember that this universe is more loving, mysterious, and intelligent than we could ever imagine. There is a beautiful yet unobvious reason why this divinely intelligent, deeply eternal loving universe has set up life to throw each and every one of us through experience of emotional pain, agony, and suffering. The reason is so that we stop everything we are doing and become deeply inspired to evolve in a spiritual dimension. The spiritual path is the only way we can remove all our thorns, break out of our thick mental and emotional prisons. Now, the only problem is that the mind tends to get lazy and wrapped up in old habit and would never search for the keys to our spiritual freedom unless we felt deeply trapped imprisoned or stuck. The mind loves to create these emotional prison cells in the brain, as each one provides new fuel to blast off into a new experience of creativity. Growth, evolution, movement, and eventually reach total liberation. So we all have these wonderfully perfect, prickly prisons constructed inside us. Each one is destined to create a deep yearning and desire to be free. You can reject this idea, ignore it, or accept it. Just notice what happens inside your body either way. This search for freedom is as much our destiny as the prisons we've placed ourselves in. There are no real enemies in this world. There are only imaginary shadows. The thorns in our shoes can be removed once we realize that they are also created by our own imagination. We must move beyond the mind through the unconscious, righteous mind that believes it is aware, yet it is truly ignorant and not worshiping the great mystery 24 hours a day. It is this ignorance that is our only real enemy. The mind that is deeply stuck in thought and ego and will only strive to create something new when some form of horrific pain, fear, or slavery begins bubbling up inside. And yes, the mind is imagining everything that you're experiencing right now. It is believing that your thoughts, beliefs, and all your limitations are real. It is entertaining the feeling that being financially stuck is real, or that your relationships are never going to improve, or you'll always live in the same house forever. It has this idea that whatever challenging life experience you're having right now, you may be that way forever. The sensations of emotional imprisonment sure do feel real. Yet when we step back from them, we see that they are just a conglomeration of negative thoughts. When we step back from the mind with awareness, we can understand that we are the ones who have thrown ourselves into jail with our imagination. From this awareness, then we can step out of jail just with using our sweet, simple, yet all-powerful imagination. The challenge for most of us to acquire our so-called out-of-jail pass, we must choose to gift it to ourselves. We must choose to accept that everything and everyone in this life is a part of this deep, holographic, infinite mystery. In this acceptance, we stop feeling limited. We see how our imagination is co-creating everything. By knowing what is creating thought, we stop believing in all of its fantasies. We realize that any potential feeling of slavery is a choice from here on out. We understand that we always have the free will and choice in how we wish to interact and engage with any thought that enters the mind, and can keep it like a winning lotto ticket or toss it away like a used banana peel. So don't hold on to any beliefs that show up about yourself, others in this life. Choose the mystery over the certainty, just because it's more exciting. It's simply more interesting to not know than to know. When you're living within the mystery 24 hours a day, you suddenly find yourself becoming spontaneous, free from hesitation, doubt, barely have any fear. It requires all the courage you have to keep choosing the mystery over the normal way of being human. Yet you're much more likely to experience your fears as some weird bubbling state of excitement than something you run from. You might even see your life as this wild, passionate birthing of random desires to engage and disengage from. Ultimately, it is a mystery how long or short your life is going to last. So why not start embracing it now? When we embrace the mystery as a way of living this life, the mysterious way keeps us truly alive. We start abiding in a state of wonder and deep curiosity about everything. We stop defining who we are and start realizing that truly we are actually indefinable. We start seeing amazing intelligent energy is here now, in front of your eyes. Then when we're constantly in a state of stress, worry, fear, and at different levels, and they're the most destructive habits a human mind can entertain. It is a disease of the psyche. Which forms when we feel disconnected from our soul and our spiritual roots. Now, when we use and we rely only on the logical, rational mind to serve as our guide and forget what it's like to live from our heart, we then become lost in the trail of perpetual tension left behind in the mind's anxious what-if thinking. The warrior inside us has lost its spiritual roots. It's forgotten how to deeply enjoy this life, be free from attachments in this world, and trust that everything is always unfolding as perfectly in this divine, all-intelligent universe, which never, ever makes mistakes. Worrying is an effect of not trusting our spiritual connection to the universe. This disconnection creates the assumption that we are all powerless beings who are not the real manifestors of our future. Statistics show that 99% of our worries never manifests. Yet it's that little 1% that the mind worries about. The evil mind wants full control of reality. Thinking. Worrying is an effect of not trusting our spiritual connection to the universe. This disconnection creates the assumption that we are powerless beings who are not the real manifestors of our future. We are powerless beings who are not the real manifestors of our future. 99% of our worries never manifest. That 1% that the mind worries about. The ego mind wants full control of reality, thinking that having a stronger, more strategic hold on life is the most optimum place to be. When we resist trusting in life, we stop letting in love and honoring the divine mystery that surrounds us. The ego mind then becomes very tight, tense, demanding, controlling, and worried about everything. We tend to worry, become the ego abhors being weak. Vulnerable and unprotected from unexpected change. It thinks real strength is found in hardness and wants total security, safety, and 100% guarantee that this life will be okay. Yet the ego doesn't realize that life is a perpetual leap of faith into the unknown. The ego has forgotten that true strength is found in softness, and that water always wins over rock in the end. Our ego is learning how to have a soft, forgiving heart filled with trust, for this is the only way to relax, enjoy this lifetime, and truly become worry-free. And worry are within us all can be a bit tricky to catch, and sometimes super challenging to stop. We can get accustomed to blindly following the over-analytical, skeptical, doubting mindset, and feel this. It feels incapable of accepting that whatever will manifest tomorrow will be for the highest good of all concerned. The worrier inside us is like a 24-hour slave laborer who is constantly efforting for security through pushing the mind to dwell only on a negative perspective of life. There's not much you can do to convince a super worried mind that a negative outcome is not coming ahead. A biochemical cocktail has been created in the worry-filled brain that make it quite challenging and almost painful to believe in positive thoughts. The worrier feels at home, and life is somewhat under control if it keeps thinking negative thoughts. The worried brain cocktail generates this right feeling that we should be worried and continue on this path, being even more serious and concerned about any potentially highly critical or important life situation. The worried mind cannot trust life or take a vacation, where it's never a good time to joke around, have any fun, appreciate our spiritual nature, or celebrate being alive today. When the cocktail of worried biochemicals have taken over the brain, it is so powerful that the only place to find any freedom or clarity is by shifting gears into higher consciousness. When we interject a steady stream of pure awareness into our mind, we slowly stop believing that our fearful fantasy is going to manifest. The energy of pure consciousness acts like a river of clean, clear, flowing water, which purifies away the negative ideas which have little foundation in reality. By simply being aware of our consciousness for a few minutes, we can instantly release our ego's need to be afraid and in control. We can begin to sip a deeper, succulent experience of a deeper relaxation inside. The normal self is the mind. The mind is with limitations, but pure consciousness is beyond limitations and is reached by investigation into the I, Ramana Maharishi. You can tell a worried mind several million times not to worry, yet the reason why it continues worrying is that it is uneducated. It doesn't know how to relax the body, love the mystery, trust in a perfect future. It thinks too much, feels too powerless, and feels the need to be in control of it all. Yet when it imagines some fearful scene occurring, It believes its thoughts are having no energetic impact on the outer environment of the people. Worried mind is an ignorant. The worried mind doesn't even know that thoughts are things that impact our world. Thoughts are things that impact our world. Every thought and feeling you have is impacting your environment, community, and the entire world on some level. It's a proven fact that a person who you're emotionally close with on the other side of the world can feel it when you shift into a highly emotional state of love, anxiety, or fear. We know people are more prone to doing business with those who live from a state of mind, state of trust, faith, and connection. Rather than worry and fear, we are able to manifest, magnetize, and attract the right people and situations we want when our heart is resonating with the feeling that everything is going to be just fine. The more we understand the deep power we each hold in every thought we think, the easier it will become to step back from the worried mind and transcend it. Now, if we cannot step away from the mind, we are a mere slave to its forces. Sometimes the mind will worry about our loved ones, thinking that this is a form of caring about them. You might even feel guilty if they don't worry about them, thinking that not worrying or fearing for their life means we don't truly care about them. The problem with this is that this worrying energy is sending out a negative vibration of fear that is unhealthy, untrusting, unsupportive, and actually pulls their loved ones down energetically. When we worry about someone, it energetically drains the life force of another person, cutting off our trusting relationship with them and causing them to feel more isolated and lonely in this universe. Be aware, worrying is a highly unconscious habit that's more addictive than cocaine. It can completely destroy a life that was potentially filled with joy, love, and laughter. If we don't learn how to transcend this addictive mindset, the energy can even implode within ourselves. When worry becomes self-abusive, we perpetually doubt ourselves. When worry becomes self-abusive, we perpetually doubt who we are, why we are here. What we are doing. And fear being wrong about everything, we are here. What we are doing, and fear being wrong about everything we say and feel, we can end up doubting our lives on every level. And this can evolve into an insanely stressful way of being that manifests into psychosomatic dis-ease and eventually death. Now, this is something to worry about. It's vital to create a new response to life, where we are deeply appreciating and trusting each moment, feeling the great goodness of this life, that it is naturally here and all around us now. Join you in meditation and return to close us out. With an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Let go and let the universe guide you. Only through surrender can you embrace your divinity. Simply be open and vulnerable to the universe. You already have all the courage you need. Existence fills you the moment you surrender. If you think abundance in life is about how much savings is left in your bank account each month, or how expensive the things are that you own, you are deeply mistaken. Some of the most miserable people in this world are the most deeply attached to the material world. They simply don't know how to feel this divine abundance that is dancing inside their spiritual essence all day long. Real everlasting abundance comes from being in touch with the divine being who you truly are. The creative, loving, wonderfully alive essence of you, who has the potential to vibrate, gyrate, reach the highest, happiest frequencies of inner freedom. Even if you're struggling with money, just start to accepting the fact that in many ways you already are living an abundant life. It's more fun and enjoyable than pretending that you aren't. Enlightenment starts with choosing to see through a more expansive perception that makes you feel truly free. I can see that the super rich are deeply appreciative being growing and glowing inside you now. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night the following morning. We will return here Tuesday, July 4th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with oneself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude, no matter what's going on around you.